If the messages delivered by Bashar are intended to expand our awareness and prepare us for physical contact, what kind of information do the messages contain?
To understand Bashar's messages, it's important to upgrade old and outdated definitions into ones that are more relevant for the 21st century. Many of Bashar's concepts require us to expand our awareness. If we can perceive reality in the same way that ETs experience it, we create common ground, and it brings us one step closer to physical contact.
The foundational information is what we have referred to as the 5 laws of creation. The 5 laws are: you exist. Number 2, everything is here and now. Number 3, the one is the all and the all are the one. Number 4, what you put out is what you get back. And number 5, everything changes except the first 4 laws. They're not the laws of physics, which can change from dimension to dimension. These are the laws of existence, the very definition of the structure of existence, which is true for everyone, everywhere, in every reality, at every time, throughout creation. They never change. Every experience any of you have ever had, are having now, or will ever have, is some combination of those 5 laws. Once you understand with clarity that foundation, you will understand exactly how existence works. You will understand exactly how to create the realities that you prefer. Physical reality is a reflection of your state of being, your state of consciousness. There really is nothing outside of you. You're not really in physical reality. Physical reality is within you. It's within your consciousness. It is a concept that you are experiencing of yourself from a certain perspective. However, we understand that the way in which you have chosen to experience your particular dimension of physical experience is as though you are within a realm of space and time, as you call it, where you have taken your energy, the high-frequency energy of your spirit nature, and in a sense, have lowered that frequency, crystallized that frequency down into what you call the experience of physical reality. So the thing to remember, in order to give yourself more opportunity to choose and experience the kind of physical reality you prefer, is to begin to see and experience physical reality as a reflection, similar to the idea of the reflection that exists in your glass mirrors. You know that when you look at your reflection in a glass mirror, you know that you're not really over there. And you know that if you want to change the reflection in the glass mirror, you don't go to the reflection and attempt to make it change. You must change yourself in order to see the change in the reflection. So, physical reality, being a reflection, operates in much the same kind of modality. Any change you wish to see in the so-called reflection, the outer reality, must begin within the inner reality, which is you, within your consciousness, within your vibration, within your state of being. It is all based on state of being. There is nothing in physical reality that is not. It doesn't matter that there might be a physicalized component or a physicalized reflection that you call chemistry or physics or medicine or science. Those are still just reflections of what you already believe in your consciousness to be true for you. Yes?
Yes.
So it's all based on belief, it's all based on consciousness, it's all based on vibration, it's all based on resonance, it's all based on state of being. That's why we say, circumstances do not matter, only state of being does. Because it's state of being that creates circumstances. Circumstances don't create state of being. It's the other way around. You never leave heaven, if you want a metaphor. You never, ever, ever leave that state. That's your natural state. You are all only dreaming that you've left. But you're still there, having this dream there. You understand? You've all gone to sleep in heaven and are dreaming you're in hell. We are sometimes asked why people choose to incarnate in physical reality on Earth. And there are as many reasons as there are people. But generally speaking, it's an exciting place to be, especially now in this age of transformation. Many people want to experience the idea of change and discovery. Remember that in a timeless state, you cannot experience change. You cannot experience discovery of new perspectives. So by forgetting, in essence, who you are as a spirit, as a greater being, you can learn through a process of physical space-time reality how to rediscover yourself anew from a different perspective. And when you create the idea of the space-time framework, you give yourself an opportunity to experience the process of creation. Time is, in a sense, an illusion, even though the experience of time is real. But the idea is that time is a side effect of your consciousness, shifting through billions of parallel realities per second. Parallel realities are like frozen snapshots, like frames of film. They have no movement in and of themselves. And like your film, the only way to create the illusion of time and movement is to project a light through the different frames onto a screen, one after the other, in such a manner as to create that illusion, because no frame has movement in and of itself. If you weren't shifting through parallel realities billions of times a second, you would have absolutely no experience of change whatsoever. Everything would be a frozen snapshot, like this. Or perhaps like this. Or maybe like this. But you have to, like frames on a film strip, actually project your consciousness like the light of the projector through a multitude of frames per second in order to actually experience the illusion of any particular time stream. This is how reality works. And so as you shift your consciousness like the projector beam through those different frames of parallel realities, you are creating this experience of change and time and space. But the idea is that all those frames exist all at once. Just like the projectionist can take a strip of film and stretch it out and look at all the frames simultaneously and look at them in any order, the only reason that the projectionist can do that is because all the frames exist now, simultaneously, all at once. The idea that they come one after another is simply your projection, your illusion. Therefore, the true structure of existence is that everything exists all at once. To use your television analogy, you know that if you are watching a program on one channel, there are still hundreds of other programs that exist at the same time, but you only perceive the one that you are tuned to. So the idea is that if you wish to experience change, if you wish to experience a different kind of reality, a different way of experiencing space and time, all you need to do is shift to a different parallel reality that already exists simultaneously with yours, just like changing the channel on your television to see a different program that exists at the same time as the one you were just watching that is still going on even though you have changed the channel and can no longer perceive it.
A set of principles is a start, but can we apply these principles as tools to change our lives and our society in positive and practical ways?
Every single one of you talks about the idea of applying some sort of tool or technique to make changes in your lives in a positive and constructive way. And we have had many discussions with many of you about the idea of exactly what sort of tools to apply and how to apply them and how to get a result and how to get a manifestation. Now, of course, first and foremost, you are always manifesting something. If you were not, you wouldn't have an experiential physical reality, correct? Correct. So the idea is, you do not have to learn how to manifest. This is automatic. It is built into you as a creator, as an aspect of creation. What you are simply learning is how to manifest more consciously, to be more aware of how you manifest so that you can manifest what you prefer, instead of manifesting your unconscious beliefs. Passion and all of its expressions, excitement, happiness, joy, creativity, love, are all different ways of expressing the vibration of your true natural self, what we call your signature frequency. Your signature frequency is that resonant energy, that vibration that is unique to you, that identifies you as a unique aspect of all that is of creation. And the way you apply that signature frequency through passion is to act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability, with no insistence or assumption as to what the outcome ought to be, as to what to come to fruition, but to allow the synchronicity in your life to present to you the opportunities that contain that excitement so you can recognize it, because excitement is the compass needle that points to your magnetic north. And by acting on it to the best of your ability, you will bring about in your life what we call the complete kit. You will allow it to work for you. And you will discover very readily, very easily, that excitement can function in your life as the driving engine, as the organizing principle, as the path of least resistance, as the thread that leads to all other expressions of excitement, and as the reflective mirror that will reveal to you what may be within you that is out of alignment with that excitement, so you can identify it and bring it back into alignment and expand your excitement in that way. And simply by following that formula of acting at every moment to the best of your ability on your highest excitement, with no insistence on how the outcome should look, you will activate that complete kit, and it will work for you automatically, effortlessly, every moment, without fail. As you allow yourself to move forward in that way, your life will become an ecstatic explosion of synchronicity, very magical. Things will begin to happen all around you, because magic is, again, the true nature of existence. Miracles are the natural order of things, not the exception. Remember, no situation has built-in meaning. Everything is fundamentally neutral. Life is meaningless. You're the one that's designed to give life meaning. If you give situations a positive meaning, you will get a beneficial, positive effect. If you give them a negative definition, you can only get an effect that is representative of negativity, such as struggle, strife, difficulty, and obstacle. You only see it that way because you're defining it that way. Change your definition, you'll experience things in a very different way. That's how it works. What you put out is what you get back. Creating definitions that work for you. When you look at the idea of what you call great darkness, great negativity, let's see, let's use the imagination, let's use the inspiration. How can I define my relationship to this idea in a way that serves me in a positive context? Oh, I don't know, let's see. There's always that wonderful rubber band analogy. The darker you've experienced the darkness, when you finally let go, that much farther and faster will you fly into the light. That's how to look at the idea of that experience of negativity in a positive way. Abundance. The ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. No matter in what form the abundance comes, the abundance will give you the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Not what you want to do, what you need to do.
Consider these statements. I lack trust. I lack abundance. I lack confidence.
There is no such thing as a lack of trust. There is no such thing as a lack of confidence. There is no such thing as a lack of abundance. There is, however, a 100% trust in lack. There is, however, 100% confidence in lack. There is, however, complete abundance of lack. The idea, therefore, is that you are always abundant, you are always trusting, you're always confident about something. It's about learning to be abundant in what you prefer to be, learning to be confident about what you prefer to be, learning to trust what you prefer to trust. It is now all the rage on your planet, the law of attraction. And while it is true, in a sense, that yes, you cannot experience something that you are not the vibration of, and that you really do need to operate on a frequency that is representative of what it is you wish to attract, there is a little bit of a misunderstanding in exactly how this so-called law of attraction actually works. Because again, it's giving you the impression in the way that you've been framing it that you have to learn to generate that frequency, and you don't. You already generate the perfect frequency to attract everything that is truly necessary in your life. Many of you, because again of the way you've been taught to define things in your physical reality, have this kind of a picture in your head that when you vibrate in a certain way, you are attracting something from somewhere else to here. And that when you release something else, you are releasing it, so to speak, from here to somewhere else. Well, of course, many of you now understand that everything exists right here and now. It's not really coming from anywhere else or going to anywhere else. It is, in a sense, simply being rearranged as a ratio of energy, as a balance of energy, as an equation of energy within the consciousness that you are. So the way that this law of attraction and manifestation actually works is to recognize that you are already giving off, already radiating a core signature vibration. And that core signature vibration is already doing everything it can possibly do to attract everything that is representative of that particular frequency. If the things that are representative of that particular frequency are not manifesting in your life, it's not because you're not attracting them, it's because your beliefs are keeping them at bay. So it's not that you have to learn to attract them, it's that you have to learn to let go of vibrations that are not compatible with your core frequency, that are keeping those things from getting to you, from manifesting in your reality. And conversely, all the things that are not compatible with your core vibration are doing their best to get as far away from you as they possibly can. The only reason they may not be is because you're holding on to them and not letting them go. So the law of attraction is really not necessarily about having to learn to attract something. The law of attraction is really all about letting go and letting in. That's really all it's about. It's about being yourself, living in the moment, being your true vibration, and then allowing the things that are representative of that vibration to manifest in your life physically.
The excitement that Bashar generates when he comes through and captivates an audience is most heartwarming. His impeccable timing and his ability to get to the root of a questioner's issue is quite extraordinary. Time after time, I see people have profound life-changing experiences as they hear Bashar explain that it's okay to be your true self and to act on your passion. It's really fascinating to see all the positive ways that Bashar's messages have impacted people's lives.
One of the results of acting on your passion is an increase in positive synchronicity, where everything happens in perfect timing. I got into the film industry specifically because I wanted to work in miniature effects for sci-fi films, for action films. This was very exciting to me. And I went around knocking on doors, but I couldn't really find an opening. Just about that time, Star Wars came out, and I went to see it, and it completely blew me away, like it did for so many people. And I knew that once I saw that film, I really had to get into the business. One day I was reading the newspaper, and a local theater that was playing Star Wars said if anyone will come down to the theater and help them handle the tremendous lines, they would hire that person on the spot. So I ran down to the theater and got the job because I figured if I was an usher at the theater while helping them handle the lines, I could watch the movie as many times as I wanted to and really study how they did those effects. One day, out of all of the 3 months that I worked at this theater, I took tickets at the door for one 20-minute period. One of the technicians from Star Wars came to the theater to see the movie. I recognized him and struck up a conversation, and he was responsible for getting me an interview that allowed me to get hired at a special effects company. If I hadn't acted on my passion, I never would have met him, I never would have made the connection, and I never would have gotten into the industry that way. Following your excitement and acting on your highest joy shows you how all things are connected and leads you down the proper path to allow synchronicity to occur and manifest your dreams.
It's also interesting that following my passion to work in the film business before I even knew about Bashar has given me the skills to blend filmmaking and channeling in order to present this information in a broader way than ever before. Bashar says everything is an orchestration, so I've come to understand that the choices I made are part of my agreement with him and may be part of a larger plan leading to first contact. Some people will recognize me out in public and they'll call me Bashar instead of Daryl. It's kind of funny, but it's also kind of endearing. Who knows? Maybe answering to that name will help me become my own version of him, which is really just another way of saying that I'm becoming more my true self. I feel like Bashar represents what we could all become. We often say we're only human, but maybe we're not yet. Maybe we don't really know what it means to be fully human. Perhaps Bashar is showing us how to express our humanity more fully. If we act from our highest aspirations, restore what we've lost, reconnect and work in harmony with nature, develop cleaner ways to power our world, help each other to thrive, and find our true place in life, we can walk a new path that leads to a brighter future.
Contact is an ongoing experience and part of the natural evolution of you as a species from what you may loosely call Homo sapiens to Homo galacticus.
Oh, it's an alien civilization came to visit us. I think that would be a pretty big shock for the planet, obviously. I think that in order for us to even accept that into our reality, we will have had to have gone to a place where crazy things happen all the time. Things to the point where if an alien shows up, it's just part of the new normal.
Once we acknowledge that extraterrestrials do exist, that they have technology that can get them here, however that may be, the idea we have behind how we power our civilization through energy and electrical power will drastically change, because if we acknowledge that their ships get here and have propulsion systems that do not require fossil fuels, then our own ideas of what we think we know about physics will change.
Eventually, if we receive some visitor from another galaxies come, look, same human being. Maybe a little different sort of shapes. But basically same. Then furthermore, same sentient being. Respect them.
50% of Earth's population is under 30 years old. So humans have been in space longer than these people have been alive. To this generation and all generations to come, space travel is a fact of life. Over 1,000 planets outside our solar system have been discovered within the last 2 decades. The probability of discovering another world capable of supporting life as we know it is increasing every day. The concept of alien contact is no longer foreign to our society. The question isn't if it will happen, but when. This new collective mindset may be all the invitation an extraterrestrial society needs to initiate contact with us. However, devastating encounters between European explorers and Native American cultures are often used as examples of what could happen to our society in the aftermath of contact with a more advanced ET culture. But it is precisely because they may be more advanced than us that they would take steps to make sure no harm is done to our way of life.
Because we are genetically connected to you, we are family. For we are, in that sense, your descendants, and you are our ancestors. And thus, our deep, deep connection to you as family is profound. By interaction through open contact, our family grows. We expand each other, we support each other, we grow together, and together we grow into something that neither of us individually can ever become.
How can we, on Earth, best prepare for contact?
You have a wonderful and unique opportunity on your planet to recognize that you are living side by side with other sentient species. The dolphins are in many ways one of the most similar sentient species to your own. We may be extraterrestrial because we don't come from your world, but because we are genetically related to you, we are not really alien. Conversely, the dolphins are not extraterrestrial because they co-inhabit your world with you. They truly are alien to you. Thus, by being willing to interact with them and learn to communicate with them, it will actually give you a great opportunity to learn to communicate with other life forms out in the cosmos that truly are alien to you.
In exploring Bashar's suggestion, I developed a strong passion for swimming with wild dolphins and whales, and found that being with them offers you the opportunity to enter a state of consciousness that's actually quite similar to the channeling state. From that state, you can access more information and actually see things from a higher perspective.
But do dolphins and whales possess actual languages? Some researchers are beginning to think so.
I work at the SETI Institute, and what I'm going to present is basically an application of information theory to non-human communication. I'll present one kind of a way of analyzing, and it's a very simple relationship that's a linguistic relationship, and that's called Zipf's law. A linguist in the early 50s basically decided to plot the frequency of occurrence of different letters in books. And he plotted the log of the frequency of occurrence in rank order, in other words, first, second, third, fourth, and so on. And he said the frequency of occurrence of the letter E is the most. Then I'll plot the frequency of occurrence of the letter T in the book, and then the letter A, and on down. And he found a relationship that was basically -1 slope. In other words, a slope of -1 gives you a 45-degree angle. And he did this for letters, and he did it for Chinese characters, and he did it for various phonemes, Russian phonemes. It turns out all human languages produce this -1 slope. And so what we did is we compiled a dictionary of bottlenose dolphins, or whistle communication system, and we plotted their frequency of occurrence, and we got a -1 slope for dolphins as well. And then what happened was 2 baby dolphins were born at Marine World, and we recorded them with my colleague Brenda McCowan. For humans, when babies are born, they babble and they produce kind of a shallow slope. And it turns out that the baby dolphins were babbling as well. They landed right on top of human babbling. And as they grew up, after about 12 months, they had this -1 slope. So in other words, we determine that baby dolphins are born babbling and then learn it as they grow up.
Based on this information, dolphins have a language.
Dolphins have interacted with your society in many ways. Dolphins have guided ships through the seas. Dolphins have saved drowning swimmers. Dolphins have even sought humans out. When they are injured, they truly wish to bond with you. They truly are expressing a desire to interact.
Swimming alongside the dolphins, you see not only this incredible beauty and grace that they exhibit, but you experience a deep sense of freedom, of the limitlessness of their ocean world, and a sense of kinship with them. It's like they invite you to become one with them, to become part of their family. Not only does this help people find a clearer sense of their life purpose, it also gives them the opportunity to learn to communicate with another species, one very different from our own. And this can actually act as a precursor and a preparation for the experience of having extraterrestrial contact.
Humans are stewards of the land. The dolphins and the whales are stewards of the sea. Take advantage of this great opportunity that you have co-created with them to learn to communicate with other species in a variety of ways. It will aid and assist you in communications with other beings throughout creation. When we talk about the idea of having open contact with you, we are not just talking about having open contact with humans. Open contact is with all life on your planet. And you will become truly one society in a variety of differences that are validated and supported to form a true harmony and unity upon your world.
If we can learn to communicate with an intelligent species on Earth that's so different from us, perhaps it will not only help us understand beings from the stars, but to respect the differences among ourselves as well.
Over the course of my interactions with the public, people have reacted to the channeling in various ways. Some think I'm imagining all this, or worse, making it up. They say truth goes through 3 stages. First, it's ridiculed. Second, it's violently opposed. And third, it's finally accepted as self-evident. The fact is, I'm just an ordinary person who experienced something extraordinary. I think these people don't understand my experience because they've never had such things happen to them, so they believe they can't happen to anyone.
When people come back to me and say, you know, I applied this information the way Bashar told it to me, it solved this problem, it cleared this thing up, it gave me a whole new perspective, it allowed me to feel like I was in control, it allowed me to experience the outcome that I really preferred to experience, I mean, that's very gratifying. And it tells me that this is real on that level. I think that's the important thing to understand is, it's not about whether people believe that Bashar is real. It's not about whether this is another aspect of my own consciousness. Is the information real? Can you prove that it works? And yes, you can. I've applied it in my life and gotten amazing results. Other people keep telling me that they've applied it and it works for them. It changes things in very positive ways. They see more synchronicity in their life. They feel more positive in general. They do better at what they do. They're following their passion more often and living happier lives.
The concepts that Bashar brings through make you think. They make you question your life, question what reality is. Bashar has taught me that what I believe about life, what I feel about it, what I think about it, is what creates my life. You know, Bashar encourages us to do what excites us and to follow our dreams. And because of his insights and encouragement, I've accomplished things I never thought I could do.
Bashar has helped me personally through not only his unwavering support of me following my passion, but also through many, many years of him giving me guidance. And really, just the experience of what it means to be unconditionally loved by another person has had a profound effect on me. Bashar is someone that I deeply trust and respect, and he's earned that respect. He has shown me how you really can generate a positive outcome, no matter how negative or difficult a situation may look from the outside. And he's also shown me the incredible levels of happiness, well-being, and inspiration that you can experience right here on Earth when you're willing to follow your excitement and actively create the life that you dream of.
I have learned things I never believed I would have learned, never imagined were possible to experience. I've certainly traveled to many different places on the earth I probably never would have gone to if it wasn't for the channeling. It's really enriched my life in a lot of different ways. So I think that anyone who has an opportunity to follow a path that's unusual, even if people think you're crazy, I think the rewards outweigh anyone else's opinion. And, you know, you don't always know where you're going to wind up, and that's okay. That's part of the adventure. So I'd say go for it, because the alternative is to wonder what would have happened. And I'd rather go forward and be called crazy than to look back and say I have a regret that I never followed that path.
Bashar has explained that contact will happen in stages over time so that we're better prepared, and that one day, when we're ready, open contact may look something like this.
Whether or not you believe ETs are already communicating with Earth through channels or via other types of encounters, we are nevertheless at the dawn of a new era of exploration, not only of the vast outer universe, but also of our deep inner consciousness. If Bashar and other ETs are in fact real, two questions remain. When is open physical contact likely to occur? And will we be ready when that day comes?
You are going to make a discovery whereby your people will know that it is a fact that extraterrestrial life exists in some way, shape, or form. But no matter what that form may be, that will change the mindset that will make open contact from an extraterrestrial civilization with your world most probable between your years of 2025 to 2033.
There have been, from time to time, certain encounters. Not everything that you may see is a ship. Not every experience that may seem to be otherworldly is necessarily representative of us or those like us.
As far as UFO sightings go, the primary ones that you need to recognize are the sightings that you have called the Phoenix Lights over your Arizona area. Similar craft were spotted in the area you call your Hudson Valley on the east coast of your United States. And waves of triangular craft were spotted in the area you call Belgium. They have showed you their craft, and they have gauged the reaction. So far, the official reaction has been mostly one of denying it ever happened.
relationship between your world and other worlds grows, you will venture out to the stars yourselves, and you will visit other worlds, and you will become their UFOs. It has been a kind of a misunderstanding in certain cultures on your planet that the idea of having a unified world, a harmonious world, means that you all have to be homogenized. That is as far from unity as you can get. True harmony, true unity is the product of absolute validation of all of the individual differences between you. Because each of you was made to be a unique piece of the puzzle. And like a piece of a puzzle picture, if you are the shape you were made to be, then you will fit with all the other unique shapes and together form one big picture that will support all the pieces, even as the pieces support the whole picture. So if you just relax into the true unique self and validate all the differences between you fully, then you will all see that you are like different notes of an orchestration. You will all fit and play a beautiful song that will surround your world. And in that bubble will you find the harmony and unity that you seek.
For centuries, we've asked the question, are we alone? If something as impossible as an encounter with a UFO can happen, then I feel the universe is more mysterious than I imagined, and that maybe anything is possible. I've learned that contact isn't just about people from other worlds coming to Earth in the future. It's much bigger than that. I believe the experience of contact is part of evolution itself. By shifting to a higher state of awareness through channeling, acting on my passion, and being open to new definitions of reality, I've come to realize that beings from the stars have always been here. The truth is, we've never really been alone.